Hello and welcome to the Crooked Letter Sports Podcast, the show about Mississippi sports and the folks who play them. I'm Tyler Cleveland from Scorebook Live, Mississippi, joined as always by my co-host and paternal figure, Rick Cleveland of Mississippi Today fame. And we're joined in studio by our returning champion, Randy Watkins, local golf magnate and aficionado. Randy, thanks for coming in.
You bet. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. It's a great week for golf.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody's here. Rick is completely mailing it in this week. He's joining us via Zoom down in Hattiesburg, going to funerals and playing golf, which is, I guess you're living that retired life, but you're not retired.
Yeah, well, I'm at that age where funerals are getting to be. I'm going to those as much as I'm playing golf. So
that's a lot of funerals.
Yeah, that is.
Well, the one today, which is yesterday now for the listeners, is from Jackie Weeks, was the wife of Jerry Weeks, the longtime golf pro at Hattiesburg Country Club and former Alabama golfer who. Just one of the great guys in Mississippi golf. I know Randy will attest to that.
100%. Just a great guy, a great PGA professional for many, many years. Probably as well thought of as any pro around here in a long time.
Well, everybody down here calls him pro, and he definitely is a pro.
No question about it.
And his wife was a sweetheart.
You bet.
How is Hattiesburg Country Club holding up these days?
You know, it's one of my favorite golf courses I've ever played in my life. You know, they just punched the greens maybe 3 weeks ago, and it's probably 2 weeks away from them being perfect.
Yep.
It's a great layout. 17 and 18 kick my ass the way they always do.
Well, it gets pretty hot by 17 and 18.
But I didn't know if I was going to make it off the 16th green. I would have been fine to quit right there.
Yeah, you wobbled to 17 tee, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I should have.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about what good shape the golf courses are in because I wanted to compliment Randy right off the top. I got a chance to play Patrick Farms day before yesterday. It's in fantastic shape despite all that water we got. I know you were dealing with a pump on hole one there for a little while, but man, it was really in great shape. Didn't come across one green where I thought, well, better luck next year. You know what I mean?
That's good. That's good to hear. That's really good to hear. But we have, like everybody, we've been inundated with 6 or 8 inches of rain over the last couple of weeks, which is, you know, some of it's good and some of it's not, and it causes problems, but it helps some things. And we're like farmers. We never get what we want when we want it. But I'm always grateful for some rain because it's necessary. But it has made the golf course better, no question.
Where was it last July and August?
You're right. I can't bottle it up and use it when I want to. That's the problem.
Played Lake Caroline last week, too, and it's in good shape despite Rick Cleveland beating the hell out of it about 4 or 5 days a week.
I mean, he's punched that golf course a few times of late, too. He shot some mighty good scores on it. So this playing golf thing has been good to him.
Yeah, I'm shooting my age a lot more often, but the flip side of that is my age is getting so high, it's easier and easier to do.
Well, that's true. And our swing speed is starting to get closer to our age, too. That's the problem.
Yeah, mine's down probably 10 miles an hour. That's not a problem the guys are going to be having this weekend at the U.S. Open.
No. They're not going to be short on the swing clubhead speed, that's for sure. But that's not what's going to help them. I can tell you that.
Yeah. We're going to spend a good bit of time talking about the U.S. Open at Pinehurst this weekend. I got a couple of things we wanted to talk about off the top. Dad, Connor Griffin, Gatorade National Player of the Year. We've been talking about him on the show all season. You know, obviously we thought he was one of, if not the best high school player in America, and now, you know, he's picked up the hardware to prove it.
I just can't imagine there's one better anywhere that can do all the things he can do. He's going to make a whole lot of money, and he seems to be a young man that will handle all that well. He's a really great kid and just a true 5-tool player. I mean, he can do whatever there is to do with a baseball. You know, their family had some kind of week last week. He gets Gatorade Player of the Year, and his dad's Bellhaven softball team lost in the championship series of the Division III National Championship. He does a great job. Kevin does a great job at Bellhaven.
It really does. Rick, let me ask you this question. You've got over a half a century writing on athletes in Mississippi. You got a guy that you would compare Connor Griffin to in baseball from Mississippi in your memory?
Randy, that's a good question. I mean, I've seen pitchers that threw as hard and as well as he does. I've seen hitters who hit as well as he does. I'm not sure I've ever seen a player faster than he is. I mean, he's right there with Billy Hamilton as far as foot speed.
That's what I was thinking.
And that's amazing.
That is.
And so what I'm getting at is I've never seen as good an all-around baseball prospect as he is.
That's saying a lot right there. You've watched a lot of baseball and seen a lot of folks come through, and I'm amazed.
I played with one, Bobby Myrick, growing up in Hattiesburg, who was eventually ended up pitching for the New York Mets and Pittsburgh Pirates. And Bobby was a great, great athlete, but he didn't have the foot speed that this kid has, and he also couldn't hit like this kid could hit. He was a very good pitcher, though.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations to Connor on that. Another guy with Mississippi ties made his MLB debut Sunday. Hurston Waldrep, former Southern Miss pitcher, made his MLB debut. Didn't go as well as he would have liked. Gave up 7 runs on 4 hits and 4 walks in 3.2 innings for the Braves, who lost 8-5 to the Nationals. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but he kind of flashed some of the potential, just struggled with control a little bit, which is, then the Braves called him up because they need him. So I hope he can recover from his first start.
I did not get to see it. That was when I was playing golf at the country club, but we were keeping up with it on our phones. And didn't he go through the first 3 innings hitless? I mean,
yeah, it went well, but then it was that last 2/3 of an inning that got him.
Yeah, and got him good. Yeah. Well, you know what they say about in baseball, it's one of the most famous adages in baseball. That second time through the order is a lot harder than the first time after they've seen your stuff,
Yeah.
Well, proved to be true for a long time.
Yeah, but he's going to make it. I mean, he's got it. He throws hard enough. He doesn't walk people a lot usually, and he's got one pitch that's elite. That splitter is elite. So I think he'll be fine in the long run, but that's a big jump from playing college baseball last year to the major leagues this year. Not many people make that jump.
Yeah, he moved real fast for sure, and the Braves need him to move even faster.
Yeah, they do.
We're going to continue.
Yeah.
So I see you wearing your College World Series T-shirt. I know this is an audio medium, but we're on Zoom. I see you wearing that College World Series T-shirt. Are you excited about this College World Series field now that we know the teams that are in? It's Florida State, Virginia, North Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Kentucky, and NC State. So it seems like a bunch of blue bloods, a bunch of power teams, and then let's add in Kentucky, who's making their first trip.
4 SEC and 4 ACC, right?
It's pretty impressive, isn't it? It's weird not to have any team from the West make it. They usually have some really good team.
God, one of the guys I was playing golf with this weekend was Tim Floyd, the great basketball coach, and he spent 3 or 4 years out at Southern Cal, and he's asking me, he said, what in the world ever happened to Southern Cal baseball? I mean, they used to dominate.
Yeah, they did.
If you take Southern Cal, USC's, all the Olympic medals that USC athletes have won, you would rank, I think there's only 3 countries that have more medals than USC athletes. I mean, and they used to just dominate when Ron Dito was there as the coach back in the 70s and 80s, and even back to the 60s. They were the dominant team in college baseball. Now they can't even make the tournament.
It's crazy.
Now, RIP to the Pac-10, 12, whatever you want to call it. The Conference of Champions is no more. After, I think was it Oregon was the last one? They got knocked out of the tournament.
I saw several people with Oregon State fans. I was watching their game late the other night, and a lot of their fans were wearing T-shirts that said Pac-2.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
It's terrible, though. I mean, that was one of the great – there's nothing wrong with regional conferences where everybody – the road trips are short. And that one was really perfect because you had the 2 Arizona teams, the 2 teams in L.A., the 2 teams in the Bay Area, the 2 teams in Washington, and the 2 teams in Oregon.
Yep.
So it made all your road trips really
manageable.
simple.
Yeah.
And the rivalries were great. And, what screwed it all up is what screws everything up in sports is television.
Yep. That's a fact.
So now USC and UCLA are going to be going out and playing road games at Rutgers.
That's crazy.
It's just insane.
It is.
It really is.
Think they're going to fly the band back and forth?
I doubt the bands will be making many trips now.
They might do it once.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Depends on if the game's on national TV or not. I guarantee you. Dad, so do you have a pick for the College World Series? Are we sticking with our de facto of either Tennessee or Texas A&M?
Yeah, I think they're the best 2 teams. Did either one of y'all see the end of the Kentucky game when they clinched?
I saw the guy who single-handedly killed the Pac-12, the pitcher from Kentucky.
But the reaction of the coach in his post-game interview on the ESPN app was just amazing. If I had to pick a team that I probably would be pulling for in it, it would probably be Kentucky.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
It's their first trip ever.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see that, actually.
It would be, especially with all these blue bloods in this thing. I mean, that would be – there's some power programs in this thing. So for them to show up and win it would be pretty wild.
And this is the guy's first head coaching job ever. Not T-ball, not Little League, not high school, not
I did not
college, not minor league. This is his first head coaching job anywhere.
I did not know that.
And he is, in his profession, he is universally liked, and people genuinely like him because he's a really good guy, and he's obviously a good coach.
Yeah, that's apparent.
Well, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the real question. Who is going to win this Jell-O shot contest? I've got the odds on Florida State and Florida just from state reputation, but I could totally see Tennessee and A&M getting in there. I don't give the ACC teams any hope whatsoever in that competition.
Well,
aside from Florida State.
Yeah, well,
Florida State,
a lot of it depends on how many people go. And I don't know that Florida State people will travel that well to Omaha. I don't know. We'll
Better
see.
keep an eye on the A&M folks because I think they will travel.
Yeah, A&M people will travel, and I would make them maybe the odds-on favorite.
Yeah, well,
they're my pick.
Yeah, I can see it happening. I can see it happening. I watched the stuff with and not to rag on A&M at all. I see the stuff with the Yell leaders, and I think they must be drunk. And then I realized they're sober, and it's sober, and it's even scarier.
If they're sober, they've got a problem.
Right.
Very quickly before we get to the golf, one more thing. Saw the news headline that UConn basketball coach Dan Hurley has turned down the Lakers' offer for a 6-year, $70 million contract to be their basketball coach. Can either one of you fellows imagine turning down any deal? I mean,
no.
They could have you shoveling crap, and I would sign up in a heartbeat.
And to live in L.A.
Right. To go $70 million to go live in L.A.
And not have to recruit and not have to fight the NIL. I believe I'd have been out of there.
That's a change in sports, too, that coaches, of course, they're making a lot, are electing to stay in college as opposed to going to the pros a lot now. That's used to never happen. They wouldn't turn that down. It was always... that was their next step up.
Yeah, especially if you want to talk about college baseball. All these coaches in the SEC are making more money than Major League managers.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they have more to do. Just to be honest about it.
Yep, you're right.
You know what Brian Snicker made last year, his salary last year?
No.
$850,000 a year.
For the Braves?
What?
Yeah. Both of the head coaches, SEC head coaches in Mississippi, make more than that.
Yeah, they do.
That's wild.
Well,
That's crazy.
Yeah. And, you know, a 162 game season is a grind now.
You better believe it is.
Before that, spring training, and after that, the postseason, I was shocked when I found out he only made $850,000 a year.
That's crazy.
Dad, on Dan Hurley, do you think, I mean, we're talking about he's a basketball coach, right? And they offered him this job. They offered him $70 million guaranteed over 6 years. And he would get a chance to coach arguably the best basketball player ever, and certainly the best of this generation. I mean, do you think that would have weighed with you at all?
Might have been a deterrent.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know how he turned it down unless he just genuinely loves
Storrs, UConn, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Of course, they picked the right time to offer it to him. June in Connecticut, a pretty good temperature. You know, it's Chamber of Commerce weather up there right now.
Yeah, we could use a little of it.
Yeah, we could. Well, let's get to the main enchilada, as they say. We've got the U.S. Open at Pinehurst this weekend. Huge field with every name that you would expect to see there. I had written down some of the odds, but I just want to start by, talking about the golf course itself. And I'll turn to you, Randy. I know you're familiar with it. What can you tell us about it?
Well, they got their hands full this week, buddy. Pinehurst number 2 is it's a beast, and it's going to show. I just heard on the radio on the way over here this morning that it's Tuesday, and some greens are rolling as fast as 15 on the stimp meter already, and they're not flat. They're not. I mean, they're the furthest thing from flat that's possible. So the greens, you're gonna just see some weird things happen on and around those greens. You're gonna see guys putt the ball off a green. You're gonna see guys chip from short of a green to go back over the other side of the green. You'll see them go from side to side. There's no real rough. Like, everything is mowed pretty well at the same height. They've got a lot of native type grasses off the fairways, but it's going to be around those greens. Crenshaw and his partner redid the golf course several years back and put it back into Donald Ross form, which was in the 20s. Well, with the agronomy the way it is and the way they can mow the greens so short and so tight, it wasn't designed for that kind of speed. You're going to just see some weird stuff. You're going to see some frustrated golfers, I promise you.
I see that all the time, Randy. And that's just not on TV. It's just not on TV.
You know, Martin Keimer won the last one there in 2014. He shot 9 under, and he won by 7. And I'd bet this year, if somebody shot 9 under, they'd win by more than that.
Oh, wow.
I don't see how. I just don't see you'll have. It'll be single digits under par, if it's under par at all.
What is the length?
77, I think. So I mean, it's forever, and it's just so punishing. Even like I told somebody yesterday, you can hit every green and miss every green by hitting the green. Your ball landing on the green doesn't mean you're going to be on the green, and that can be an approach shot or it can be a chip shot. And you're going to see some guys putt from way off the green a lot. You're going to see the hybrid bump and runs. You're going to see, I saw Tiger was working on chipping with a 4-iron up and down those slopes to keep the ball on the ground. That's the thing, is they want the ball on the ground. And by golly, we're going to see it. That ball's going to be on the ground a lot. It's going to be rolling in some weird places.
That's the way golf was, in my opinion, was meant to be played.
It was, and this is a throwback to that. And I had the great pleasure of playing that in the NCAA championships in 1982, and it was difficult then, and they've made it even harder now. Billy Ray Brown, I think, ended up winning that individually, but it's a beast, and it's a great host for a U.S. Open. It's going to be different golf and way different than we saw this weekend at the Memorial, where everything was green and lush and heavy rough. Mm-hmm. The greens weren't really receptive, and you'll see them worse than that this week.
Randy, I've heard a lot of people when you ask, what's your favorite golf course in the world? What's the best golf course in the world? I've heard Pinehurst number 2 as much as any.
It's in everybody's top 5 that's played, 50 of the top 100 for sure.
Yeah.
And it's in my top 5 for sure. Now, there are going to be 165 guys leave there this Sunday that were not going to say that when they're through with it, because they're going to be pretty grumpy. But it's
What would your top 5 be?
Augusta National, Shinnecock,
Pebble?
Muirfield Village. Actually, I preferred Cypress Point over Pebble. Pebble, I would never say disappointing, but it was underwhelming for what my expectation was, because it's only 4 or 5 holes that you play along the Pacific, and I think I had it in my mind, even though I knew better. I thought you'd play more on it, and the Country Club of Jackson is in my top 5. It's just, that's more emotional. It's a great golf course, but it's one of my favorite golf courses, and it still stood the test of time pretty well. Peachtree in Atlanta would be in my top 5.
Yeah. Country Club of Jackson is a great golf course to play in the fall and the spring.
Yes.
Not so much the summer.
There's mosquitoes out there big enough to tote you away, that it's tough.
And they also have these other bugs. What are those black bugs?
Those little gnats that get on you. I don't know what you call them, but we've called them a lot of things that I can't say on air.
Scottie Scheffler's not going to have to worry about those this week.
He won't.
I wouldn't think.
He's the obvious pick going in. He's won $24 million this year, Rick, by the first week of June. And he's $12 million ahead of the next highest money winner this year, which is Xander Schauffele. Has won $12 million. He's won $24 million. By the first week of June, he's won that much. He's done it by winning. He hasn't done it by finishing 5th every week. He's winning like at a crazy clip. But to get in the Tiger Woods category in conversation, which people are bringing up, he has to keep this pace till 2035. To be up there in Tiger category. That's crazy.
Well, you know what? He's playing right now during this first part of this year, last part of last year. He's playing damn near the way Tiger played.
Yeah, he really is, because he's winning. He'll run away with it. He'll win without his best. He'll win in good weather or bad weather. It doesn't make any difference. He's just playing that much better than the others. So he's the 3-1 odds. I think he's minus 275 in the sports books for the U.S. Open, which is stupid.
If he putts well, he's going to win.
Correct. And you know what? He went about fixing that. He didn't putt as well last year and went through some spells, and he went about fixing that, and it sure looks like he's done a good job of that too.
Oh, he went from down near the bottom of strokes game putting all the way to he's in the top 30 now,
top
isn't he?
30 or 40 for sure.
Yeah, well, he's lapped the field in money winnings, and he beat the rap from the Louisville Police Department. I mean, he's on a streak. He's on a heater for sure.
He's winning a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I think the second best odds are Schauffele.
Yep.
Unless I'm mistaken.
I think that's right.
Who some of us correctly predicted would win the last major. Just because
one of you predicted.
Well, I just kept picking him until he won. I knew he was going to win. I just kept picking him. Eventually, you're going to be right. And then you go down the list: Rory McIlroy, Colin Morikawa, Brooks Koepka. If Scottie does struggle with the putter a little bit, which it sounds like the greens will be pretty tricky, is there another guy in that next group of contenders that you guys like?
Well, I think a guy like Max Homa, who plays golf a lot like Curtis Strange did, who won 2 U.S. Opens, and he plays a very similar style, which I think fits Pinehurst well, and I expect he'll play well, and I think Patrick Cantlay will play well. I want to say Jordan Spieth's going to play well, because the imagination necessary to play on and around those greens, he's got. But I can't put my money on that guy because he'll wreck in a heartbeat, but I wouldn't be surprised if he plays better than a guy like Rory McIlroy, who is physically much superior to him. But around the greens, Jordan Spieth's one of those guys who really can play the ball on the ground well.
Yeah. McIlroy, early in his career, I've said this probably on the podcast before, but he didn't even think about 10-footers. He just walked up to them and made them.
You're right.
And that Rory left us. He's not there. He couldn't do that anymore.
It did. You know, he's an oxymoron to be Irish, and he plays with the ball in the air, not on the ground, which is really contradictory to his upbringing. So I find that confusing about that guy sometimes. But I think the guys that are the best, and Scottie is the best at it, that are the most creative and have the best touch around the greens are going to be the guys, which is what Crenshaw, in his design, of course, he was the best putter all time, perhaps. He's going to design it where you better be a great putter to play on my greens. And so somebody who's really good and really creative, because you're going to see balls break more than you can possibly imagine. They don't have any grain in them. I mean, the grain is shaved out, so it won't be because of grain. It's all slope. Even if you play late, the Bermuda grass won't grow enough for the grain to be a factor. So they're going to have to play a lot of break, and you're going to see some weird-looking alignments on some putts.
Augusta can be the same way.
Very much the same.
Sometimes you can almost be facing away from the hole
well, you can't see
where
it.
you need it to get.
Yep.
Well, the best Mississippi story, Randy, there's no question about that, right, in this year's Open?
Oh, no question. Wells Williams, who's 19 or 20 years old, who plays for Vanderbilt, who's from West Point, qualified for the U.S. Open as a collegiate player, which is unbelievably amazing that he did that. And I heard yesterday VJ Trolio was going up there to caddy for him. He's up there with him to caddy for him, which I think is great. And VJ was caddying for his son Cohen in the U.S. Amateur there, the year that Cohen got to the semifinals. So he's got an experienced caddy with him who's had some time on that golf course under USGA conditions as well. So I think that's going to help him. And Wells Williams is mighty talented now. And I think I told Rick this story. Last year I ran into the Vanderbilt golf coach over in Birmingham, and I said, and Wells had not made this trip. So I said, "What's wrong with Wells?" And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "He's not here." And he goes, "He's playing great. This is a tough five to get into." Vanderbilt's pretty good at golf. It's hard to crack that top five. His stroke average was below 70 in qualifying and couldn't make the top five.
That's amazing. If somebody looking down from heaven has anything to do with it, he's got the best cheerleader I know pulling for him.
He got George Bryan in his back pocket on the other side of him. VJ on one side and Mr. Bryan on the other, and he'll be fine. Rick, the other story is Allie Ewing's performance in the U.S. Women's Open.
Yeah,
where she tied for third. The Mississippi State star finished tied for third and moved her way up in the Solheim Cup standings. So I think she's nearly a lock to make the Solheim Cup again, and just really, really impressed. She shot the low round of the tournament of the whole week on Sunday. She shot 66 and passed however many she passed. She was moving up the leaderboard while she was driving home.
Randy, how old is she?
29 or 30.
Yeah.
So she's in her prime right now, and it's showing.
I played in a pro-am with her. I guess she might have been a rookie on the LPGA tour then, and I was just amazed at how far she hits it.
Yeah.
And such an effortless swing.
She's a really good athlete, and you can tell by the way she handles the golf club. But, if you're a good athlete and you hit that ball in the middle of that club face, you can get it to go out there pretty far, and she really can do it. And I'm just so impressed and proud for what she's accomplishing on the ladies' tour. It's fun to watch that, and we've got more coming. She won't be the last one from Mississippi to do that.
Yeah, I've seen some right out at Lake Caroline, some of those your son working with out on the practice tee, and I'm just amazed at how good their swings are.
It's incredible. The state junior just finished up last weekend up in Cleveland, and Lucy Cook, who also comes from Old Waverly, she won it in a playoff against Eliza Yelverton. They're basically cousins.
And grown up
Mississippi. and they live in the same community, and they play at Old Waverly, and they play on the same high school team, and it was they Lucy beat her in a playoff, and it was some high level golf, and Tucker Gutierrez from Jackson won the boys with some more high level golf. They had we got some kids that are really showing out. They're going to do some impressive things.
Well, that's a tribute to a lot of people, including you and PJ. All have taken up the mantle from people like Robbie Webb. And
absolutely, paying it forward. People did it for me when I was a kid.
And your son Thomas has become one of the best junior teachers around.
No question. He's got a junior camp going on at Whisper Lake this week that's 80 kids a day for 4 days.
Every time I see him, he's got like 10 in tow.
He looks like the Pied Piper
everywhere he goes. Everywhere he goes.
And they love him.
He does, and he loves them back, and it's a great match.
You know, one of the great things, and since you're in the studio today, that one of the great additions to Jackson area golf is the little par 3 course at Whisper Lake.
It's Loop.
Just terrific.
The Loop.
It's a game changer already, but it's going to show its value as these kids grow through it. But it's become the preeminent training ground to teach kids how to score in golf, which is the art of the game. Rick, you know well as I do, the driving ranges of this country are littered with people who hit the ball awesome that cannot score golf.
That's right.
And I think one of them sitting next to me.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
And so we're believers. I saw it at every level, and I certainly saw it at the professional level, that the guys that were the best at getting the ball in the hole in the least number of strokes, no matter what it took to do that, were the guys who were the most successful. And that won't, I don't think that'll change. Even in this bomb and gouge era, it still comes down to short game. I mean, Scottie won it Sunday by making it up and down on 18. That's next to impossible.
Yeah. Crenshaw's, to me, the fact that he won 2 Masters.
Yep.
Hitting the ball the way he hit it, and he just best putter I ever saw.
Then no question. Now, he was born to putt. It looks so magical in his hands. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We're going to have a great week, though. It's going to be fun to watch, but you're going to see some train wrecks. There's no question about that.
So you picking Scottie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a choice. He's making it where he's got me pinned in the corner where I can't. I mean, he didn't finish out of the top 2 or 3 in 3 months. But for the arrest in Louisville, he finished 7th or 8th.
Right.
By spending a couple hours in jail.
Went out and shot, 66?
Yeah. He got the orange jumpsuit off, put his clothes on, and went and birdied the first hole and shot 66.
All right, Tyler, you picked the winner of the first major this year. What you got for us?
It's. I think you have to pick Scottie Scheffler. I mean, period. It's the end of the conversation. But if I have to pick someone different, I'm going to go with a guy like Colin Morikawa. I mean, I just feel like he's another guy that's he seems to be right around there near the top. He's got good odds. And I just, I get a feeling he's got a lot more winning in the system. I don't know if it's going to be in majors, but he's a guy that I would look for. And then, you go on down the list, it's pretty tough. I mean, the guys that you see around the top usually are probably not going to be there this week. I mean, the course doesn't lend itself to a guy like Bryson DeChambeau. And even though he's constantly around the leaderboard at all these events, and then like the ghost of John Rahm, maybe.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you used to think when you think, you need creativity around the greens, and I mean, that used to be the first name off the top of my head.
Yep.
I don't know what's happened, but so I think right now it's Scottie Scheffler in the field, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think golf having a superstar is not a bad thing. So I'm riding with Scottie Scheffler, and I thought that was crazy what you said about Tiger Woods and how he'd have to keep it up till 2035.
It's ridiculous. Really, it's ridiculous. But that's the bar. There it is. Go get it. Who are you picking, Rick? Who are you picking?
Oh, yeah, I just don't see how you can pick against
Scottie.
Scheffler right now.
I mean,
it's just if he was gonna not win a tournament right now, it might be on this golf course, I think, because he's still not the best putter. I mean, he's not the best putter.
He's not. But he is a marvelous chipper.
And getting better.
But a marvelous chipper. I mean, a really good chipper. He's really good around those greens. So I know one thing. I'm not picking anybody from Live.
Well, I know you're not. I know you're not. I absolutely know it.
Before we get out of here, I did want to mention I read the story on ESPN about Adam Scott. Yep. Making his 92nd straight major start.
That's stupid.
That's pretty impressive for in a sport where it demands so much of your body.
Yep.
For him to stay healthy and be able to make 92 and to stay ranked high enough,
to stay that highly ranked and highly competitive. In those 23 years, he's only won one of those. He won the Masters. So he gets those every year, but all the other ones, he has to earn his way in each year, really. I mean, he went through that. You get the exemptions for 5 years after the Masters. But beyond that, everything else has been earned on his performance. And to sustain it for that long is crazy. And to not be a great putter either. That's how good he is as a ball striker.
I know. I don't know of a better golf swing.
There's not one. You can keep looking, but you're not going to find one. Sorry.
You can just kind of glance. You be in a sports bar and glance up at the TV, and I know who that is. When he swings.
You can do that when he's setting up to it. You can tell when he sets up to it.
Yeah,
it's unreal. Yeah.
Well, you guys enjoy watching the tournament this weekend. Hopefully, Rick will eventually, win everyone's money in Hattiesburg and come home
with a pocket full.
With a pocket full. Let's hope so. Dad, have a good week down there. Say hey to everybody for us.
Okay, y'all have a good week.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah, thank you, Randy, for being in the studio with us. As always so kind to join us. And thanks, everybody, for listening in this week. Hope everybody has a safe week out there, and we'll talk to you next week.